Hello, this is Antonio Valderas, and I'm going to present our contribution, MISTRuST, Accommodation Short-Term Rental Scanning Tool. The authors of this contribution are Iván Ruiz Rube, Inmaculada Arnedillo Sánchez, and myself. The global irruption of shared accommodation platforms has set off the debate on the consequences of the unprecedented growth of the short-term rental STR market. Some of these STR platforms could be considered as an enabler of economic growth because of their direct operation and by indirectly generating tourism-related jobs. They help individuals generating extra income from their underused accommodation to pay their rent or even undertaking a home renovation project. However, while demand for short-term rental grows, long-term rental is removed from market to meet that demand, and rent prices of the diminishing stock are risking pushing people out of the rental market. Beyond the financial implications, the fabric of neighborhoods is changing. For instance, long-term neighbors are being replaced by short-term visitors. And bakeries, greengrocers, and butchers are being replaced by souvenir shops. And here the question is, what about legality? Those engaging in short-term rental masquerade behind platforms and benefit from the legal loophole in the sector. The proliferation of STR platforms such as Airbnb, Booking, Couchsurfing, Homestay, HomeAway, to mention just a few, makes impossible verifying illegal reservations. The most comprehensive study to date on the issue reports that 66% of revenue, $435 million, and 45% of all New York Airbnb reservations last year were illegal because it breached New York state law. In STR platforms, it is difficult to locate specific listings among millions and assert if they are legal or illegal. Being able to monitor listings on STR platforms should be of interest to authorities and local residents seeking enforcement of regulation, but also to landlords to ensure their property is not being used for STR without their knowledge. The STR subletting phenomenon is a real threat to landlords that can have serious consequences as, for instance, being fined by local authorities and being unable to evict tenants engaging in STR subletting. Thus, in order to uncover whether a property is being listed in STR platforms, this paper presents MISTRuST. MISTRuST comes from Accommodation Short-Term Rental Scanning Tool, and it is a computational intelligence-based system aimed at uncovering whether a property is being listed in STR platforms. It enables users to monitor property by scheduling automatic searches and checking listings returned by the system against the target property. The functional requirements of the applications are: first, registration of the data of the property to be monitored; second, issuing queries to check whether the property is listed on any STR platform; and third, setting and receiving alerts once a potential match to the target property has been found listed in STR platforms. And these are the non-functional requirements that have been considered while the development of MISTRuST: interoperability, maintainability, security, usability, performance, portability, and finally reliability. The architecture of the system, which was carefully designed to fulfill its requirements, follows a three-layered architecture along with an asynchronous pipeline. The whole system was developed with Java and Spring Framework. The presentation layer consists of the different views of the system and was developed with Vaadin, a user interface framework for creating HTML5 single-page applications. The service layer includes several business components to manage the system entities and to implement the core algorithm of the system. The data layer was built on top of two data repositories, namely MySQL for persisting the relational domain model and Apache Solr for indexing advertisement data in form of flattened documents. The core of the system follows an asynchronous pipeline architecture. 3 data processing stages are carried out before providing results for a given query. First, data ingestion, secondly, data enrichment, and finally, data matching. However, not all 3 stages have to be executed at the same time. This is how the user interface of MISTRuST looks. For each property, the user can register general information, upload pictures, and annotate the property entry with the amenities or features. The next step is to issue searches on the Internet. There are 2 ways for doing that. First, by selecting a specific time interval, check-in and check-out dates, and 2, by scheduling the searches to be automatically launched on a regular basis. During the data ingestion process, the first data processing step involves obtaining data from alltherooms.com. Since this web platform aggregates data from several popular STR platforms. Currently, this web platform does not provide any structured API, so in order to find the listing, the system has to directly scrape listing data from its user interface. The exact location of the listing is unknown beforehand in order to guarantee the personal rights of the users. So, parallel searches are launched in equally distant locations toward west and east to estimate the real distance from a given property to the base position. Now, the data enriching step. Besides the approximated distance between the listing and the property locations, their set of features or amenities are essential to find the best listing match. The enrichment is implemented by using the cloud machine learning APIs provided by Google for processing, natural language for textual descriptions, and pictures, images of the advertisements. If we have a textual description of a property like this, cozy house with parking place near the beach and the city center, which will allow you to enjoy the entertainment at night of a seaside city, bus stop at 5 minutes walking distance, the natural processing language can obtain tags such as parking, beach, city center, nightlife, or public transport. And by using the Google API for processing images, we can obtain additional relevant information about the property. For instance, from this image, we can obtain the following information related to the property: balcony, flat, restaurant. Once the listing data is downloaded and enriched by means of the machine learning services, the final stage is the data matching. First, initial filter criteria such as the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, and the accommodation type are applied to restrict the superset of advertisements. Next, the results are ranked by a compute score combining A. The compute approximated distance from the position of the listing to the location of the real property, and B. The matching between the amenities or features of the listing and those of the property. At the end, the system will display the list of listings ranked by the compute score. The best informed guess of the system is ranked first so that the user will be able to check the details of the listing against the features, pictures, and amenities of the target property. And reaching the conclusions, we have developed MISTRuST. MISTRuST enables users to monitor a property by scheduling automatic searches and checking listings returned by the system against the target property. The manual allocation of the relevant values of the amenities and features is a time-consuming task. The required time can be reduced by assigning default values to the categories they belong. In the future, it would be interesting to use an API instead of web scraping. And of course, a large-scale evaluation with many properties and in different locations would be necessary in order to obtain accurate results. Well, that's all. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them.